People didn't know how to do it. They were back promoting local towns and villages in County Cavan. So today we're on Redhills in County Cavan. Now, Redhills is probably the only place we have talked about that doesn't have a river going through it or some kind of lake in the city of Redhills, which I can kind of very funny. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let's just get started. Redhills. So first of all, as soon as you think of Redhills, especially people in Cavan, especially me, you think of obviously what they've done in tiny towns in the last 20 years. They've always come near the top of Cavan, in the tiny towns, and obviously that's due to many things. But obviously hard work first of all. The local football club and the local football team getting involved, getting everybody involved and community effort, and that's very good to have everybody involved and everything's, to have everybody doing their bit, which is always good to have. And when since they were young, and the thing about Redhills too, and I suppose being a Ballyhills person used to be a Ballyhills person, football rivalry used to be a football rivalry between Ballyhills and Redhills, two local towns. Long story about the rivalry there, but from a young age they taught, go if you see a bit of rubbish outside, go up and clean it. That's what they taught from a young age. That's what they grew up in Redhills, which is a good way to have it. It's not the very worst thing to have. But anyway, Redhills too. Loads of people would know about Redhills too. There's two movies were filmed there, and I suppose one film I really like, the one of the country. And there's a book on it too. The movie's very good. The one of the country. Say not, no, you hear more. One thing I always learned to say, to be honest, if you say nothing, you won't hear anymore. Which is a good saying. If you say nothing to the cows, you won't hear much more. But then again, they wouldn't say much to you anyway, because they wouldn't want the ending. So yeah, the one of the country. Then My Left Foot was Redhills too. Was done in Redhills. So obviously, and then Playboy was in Redhills too. So obviously that too. So Redhills is very popular with the film stars, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it has a pub, one shop. I suppose you could call it a restaurant too, and they have a car dealership. And obviously they have loads of carts and loads of different things around Redhills, which is awesome. Last time I was in Redhills, it's very awesome to see. Very well maintained, I have to say. So yeah, and obviously lovely stone walls too on the main street. But anyway, there's only one street, this main street, and then there's other side streets, I suppose you could say. And obviously the GA ground, where it was, very well maintained. Last time I was there was about 4 years ago. Very well maintained, obviously the tiny towns, and obviously they do it in the GA, they clean up around the GA pitch very well, and they do very well. So obviously the last few years, and I have to give myself a bit of credit here, because the local league too, in 2000 when it was put in, there's a local league bus going from Redhills to Ballyhills to Cavan Town. And obviously I had to say, during that, I had to say in, because they were talking about it. I remember still to this day, they were like, should we put another local league bus on the road? And I was in the meeting at the same time. Head of Humphreys was there too. Head of Humphreys, Minister Humphreys, was in charge of the local league, putting local league buses on the road to Cavan. And I had to say, I said, to go for it. That's what I said for it. I was like, it might benefit some people, bring them into the town. We'll have to, because car insurance and everything's gone through the roof. And I was like, go for it. If the money's there to run it, go for it. And it's still going. Thankfully, it's still going, because I was like, go for it, and I was like, it's no harm to try and see how it goes. And thankfully, it's still on the road, so I'm happy about that. So I did have a say in that, and I did say yes, and a lot of people did say yes, and that's why it was on the road. If 2 or 3 people said no, but the overwhelming amount of people said yes, including myself. So I have a bit of a tag you there, I suppose. I never really said it, but I did have a say in the boy. Like, I could have said no, and I could have given my reason why. But as I said, the money's there, you might as well use it. So thankfully was still in place to this day. But just to say, if you ever want to go to Redhills, you can get the bus to it, from Cavan Town out to Ballyhills, or from Ballyhills to Redhills, whichever. But be aware, if you go from Ballyhills, you might have a bit of trouble on your hand. But anyway, it's all good. It's just a old football rivalry anyway. It's not that desperate, I don't take yet. But anyway, Redhills is a lovely town. They keep it very well. I have to give them credit. They do keep it very well. Aston was in it. They do keep it very well, and I have to say they do very well. Then keeping the grass cut and keeping everything well maintained, and I have to say they do a very good job. So yeah, thank you for watching, subscribe for more, and bye.